Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Hobart begins now.
Good evening. After a week of damning allegations directed towards Tasmania's harness racing industry, we now have a clearer picture of what an independent review will look like. Our reporter Brianna Boylan joins us live now from Elwick Racecourse. Good evening, Brianna. What more can you tell us about this development?
Louise, the government moved with unusual speed since the allegations surrounding race fixing and animal abuse. Racing Minister Madeleine Ogilvie, who has been under pressure to resign, released the terms of reference just hours ago. National integrity expert Ray Murray will be leading the probe, looking into specific races that made headlines earlier this week after concerns they were rigged, as well as any other harness races over the past 3 years that may demonstrate cheating. He'll also be investigating the animal welfare conditions at Yoel Sidmus Racing Stables and assessing the performance of the Office of Racing Integrity, which has been accused of perpetrating fear culture and failing to act on complaints. Madeleine Ogilvie says they are doing everything to ensure the integrity of the industry is above reproach, but Labor disagrees, stating it has no confidence in the review. Take a listen.
During Parliament this week, Minister Ogilvie said that this review would include greyhound racing, and today's terms of reference show that it won't include greyhound racing. The government is quite deliberately stopping us from uncovering everything that's going on here.
The review is due to be complete by June 30 this year, Louise.
All right, thanks for that, Brie. It's certainly been a very big week in the industry. Hobart's housing market is continuing to cool according to new figures from PropTrack. The city's property prices recording the nation's biggest slump last month, with interest rate rises and a jump in the amount of homes on the market having an impact.
Ant Mansion was kept busy during Hobart's property hot spell as houses sold within days of listing. But the agent says the market is thawing, with the days from listing to selling blowing out.
14, 15 days was not uncommon. Now I think 30 to 45 days is probably the norm.
Open inspection numbers also drying up.
20 to 25 groups weren't uncommon 3 or 4 months ago or 6 months ago. Now if we're getting 3 to 5, that's a pretty positive day.
PropTrack's monthly home price index showing similar signs. Hobart's price is slumping by nearly 0.5% last month, the fall the largest in the country. The market down by more than 5% over the last 12 months. Regional Tasmania not immune, also recording a fall. Experts say a jump in supply is giving buyers more power.
So buyers in Hobart are enjoying a lot more choice, and we don't have that factor whereby limited supply is underpinning home prices.
The spike in interest rates also a key factor.
Every time a rate rise happens, their borrowing capacity reduces, so it's certainly impacting prices.
The report not all bad news, with prices still well above what was on offer before COVID.
Actually up more than 40% on pre-pandemic levels. A lot of homeowners in Hobart are sitting on substantial home equity gains.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
The Premier says the potential data loss within the state government is a wake-up call for the community. An investigation is being launched after a breach in a third-party file transfer service was discovered. Jeremy Rockcliffe says business and governments are facing these challenges more often.
Sadly, more common occurrences across the country. I recognise Tasmanians' concern. We will and are investigating.
Technology Minister Madeleine Ogilvie says work has begun to understand the extent of the breach. The hills around Derby have come alive with the sound of chainsaws and bike pedals as Tasmania plays host to the Enduro World Series. Thousands of rowdy fans took to the trails to cheer on the world's best in an event cementing Tasmania's place on the mountain bike map.
A loud crowd for an adrenaline-charged sport. Spectators hiking and biking through dense bush to watch the world's best send it on Derby's iconic trails. Organisers estimate 3,000 mountain bike fans turned out to watch.
Just to come and talk to you now, I've had to fight my way through the masses of people going from Trouty to a brand new trail called Cuddles, and they're having a great time.
Yellow jersey holder Luke Meyer-Smith isn't letting illness get in the way.
I've kept it upright so far. It's pretty slippery from the rain still, and a bit boggy, so it's hard to carry speed, but trying to do our best out there.
Making noise and an impression is all part of the experience. Captain Feathersword made an appearance, as others made a racket with air horns, cowbells and chainsaws, all to encourage each competitor.
Apparently there is the silent heckling and then the loud heckling, but yeah, it's just so that the riders feel good when they're coming through.
Hosting the event in Derby is a major coup. In fact, Tasmania is home to both of Australia's World Cup legs.
The mainland, they keep trying to get it, but the riders just love coming to Tasmania because of the support they get from these crowds.
You know, just keeping the name out there and keeping it moving, and the town's buzzing.
Riding high on mountain bike madness. Yeah! Annie Green, 7 Tasmania News.
Mainland tourists are once again being invited to come down to Tasmania for air this winter. Tourism Tasmania has launched its off-peak campaign, which will be seen across the country from tomorrow. The ads showcase the state's winter experiences as the industry looks to grab its slice of the market.
We've had obviously, a boom in tourism because people haven't been able to travel, but that will equalise. So it's really important to us to really keep pushing the boundaries and being different.
A new Discover Tasmania phone app has also gone online, which is aimed at linking tourism products to consumers. Students are leaving rival classrooms in their wake in Tasmania's only sailing competition for schools. The two-day event is all about teamwork, with those leading the scoreboard eligible for nationals.
Described as chess on water, Tasmania's secondary schools team racing championship is a chance for some of our youngest sailors to test their skills against other local talent.
It is literally a tactical course trying to figure out the shortest and the fastest way to get around the course.
7 schools and around 100 students splicing the sea at Nutgrove Beach.
There isn't much sailing up in Launceston, so it's just one of the only times you get to do a regatta.
We've got students that have sailed for the last 6 years from a younger age that are now through to grade 11 and grade 9. And we've also got students representing grade 7 this year, for most of those which have only been sailing for the past few months.
Each team is required to have 300 kilograms of weight on the water in each race.
There's 3 boats in each team. So the first boat, even if they may be winning, their last team members may be 5th or 6th, they need to slow down the other team to try and get their team to catch up.
You can't win by yourself, and you got to keep talking to your teammates, and it's about having as many people up in the top 3 as you can.
The competition will be back on again tomorrow, and it's high stakes, with the top 2 teams and first all-girls team qualifying for nationals in South Australia this July. Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
Bex Barona has clinched the overall win on Blue Derby's trails on the second leg of the Enduro World Cup. The British racer battled it out with Hattie Harnden before finishing 1 second ahead on the final stage. A late fight back from men's yellow jersey holder Luke Meyer-Smith wasn't enough to make it into the top 10. The Australian battled illness throughout the day. Richie Rude taking out the final stage and an overall victory. The next leg of the World Cup takes place in the Czech Republic in May. Before the game, flood-ravaged Deloraine played a special curtain raiser on UTAS Stadium against Bridge North to help raise funds for the club's recovery. In good news for the Roos, Deloraine downed the Parrots by 15 points. The NTFA Clash was supported by Hawthorn, which helped organise the one-off match. Deloraine's facilities were extensively damaged during last October's floods and are still being repaired. Turning to basketball now, and the Launceston Tornadoes have launched out of the blocks and are on track to roll the Hobart Chargers in their first encounter for 2023. The Tawns have piled on the buckets to be up by 33 late in the game in Ulverston. Olivia West has top scored with 25 points. The men's game between the Chargers and Northwest Thunder is on tonight. And in the Tasmanian Netball League, the Northern Hawks have cruised to a win over newcomers, the South East Suns. Up 43-14 at half-time. The reigning premiers flex their muscles in the second half at the Silverdome. Ashmore having a day out, with the Hawks shooter top scoring with 65 goals. The Hawks eventually winning 83 goals to 27, ensuring they stay top of the ladder heading into the Easter break. South Hobart's unbeaten start to the NPL season has continued with a hard-fought 3-2 win over Launceston United. In a pulsating first half, South took the lead in the 18th minute. However, a goal of the year contender Drew United levelled, going 2-1 up just minutes later. But 2 goals just before half-time put South back in the lead, eventually holding on to claim the 3 points. Meanwhile, it took Glenorchy 5 minutes to open their account against Riverside Olympic, the Knights eventually winning 5-0.
Good evening, everyone. There was a low of -1 overnight at Mount Wellington, 17 the top today in Hobart and Burnie, 16 in Devonport and 18 in Launceston. 18 the high, also recorded at Bushy Park. 17 a very popular temperature today across the state, and that was at Wynyard, Low Head, St Helens and the Friendly Beaches, Maria Island, Grove and King Island. Clouds seen here on today's satellite picture over Western Tasmania. Areas of low-level cloud over southern Australia and a large band of higher-level cloud extending across the middle of the country. Cloud associated with tropical cyclone Herman sits over the Indian Ocean. Tomorrow a high-pressure system is passing to the north of Tasmania and there are still troughs lying over WA. Tropical cyclone Herman remains well offshore. West to northwesterly winds 15 to 25 knots in the south, reaching up to 30 knots during the afternoon and early evening. Westerly winds 10 to 20 knots in the north, swells 1 to 3 metres. A strong wind warning is current for the south east and southwest coasts tomorrow. A cloudy day ahead in Hobart tomorrow, 19. Cloudy also at Richmond, 20 degrees, and a shower or two for Ooze, 18. Launceston, a partly cloudy day ahead, 20, 19 and partly cloudy in Devonport, and Deloraine, 17, partly cloudy. 18 and cloudy in Burnie, 17 for Strawn and Curry with possible showers. St Helens and Swansea both 20 degrees and partly cloudy, 18 and cloudy at Whitemark. The UV is moderate at 5 and sunrise is at 7:27 a.m. Looking ahead to Monday now, fine apart from light showers about the west. Tuesday, fine apart from light showers about the west also, and fine on Wednesday apart from showers about the east and far south. A mostly sunny day ahead in Perth tomorrow, 28, sunny in Adelaide, 22, a shower or two in Alice Springs, 26, and a partly cloudy day for Melbourne, 19 degrees. And right now in Hobart it's 14, mostly cloudy, Launceston 15, mostly cloudy, and Devonport 15, partly cloudy there. That's tonight's weather forecast, Lou.
Thank you for that, Carmen. And before we go tonight, a reminder, daylight saving is coming to an end at 3 a.m. Clocks will wind back an hour to 2. Most phones and devices will make that change automatically. And that wraps up all your news for this Saturday evening. The Saints and Bombers are on next. Enjoy your Saturday night and we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.